Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com. I want to thank you for joining us today. I am AJ Trader 7, better known as AJ. I'm one of the moderators in this great, fantastic chat room that we run, alongside all the great traders, Darkside, Janny, Dave the Trader, Raphael, Fire, B Trades, and Palmer. Anyway, I just want to kind of go over today of some of the trades that we did today. Our number one pick, again, we had to stick with Boeing today. What was interesting about Boeing was that I actually took the opposite side of what I did yesterday. I still think 370 is the buying opportunity for Boeing. I thought 375 to stock would touch today from 400. But for me as a trader, I felt very, very confident that today Boeing would be opposite of yesterday because there was a lot more analyst comments. There's a lot more, a lot of stuff going on out there. Planes being grounded, potential FAA coming in with a couple rules. There was just a lot more sense of concern, and I felt it in the morning when I woke up around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So my call was that I wanted to see a sell-off today on the stock. And I even told everyone, I think this will sell off today and do opposite of what yesterday did. And again, you have to understand, I am writing this literature like at least 45 minutes before the market even opens. I'm looking at a small gap down of $4, and I'm basing my decision to short the stock. And I told everyone I would sell this stock off to 375. And if it hits 370, I would be a buyer on the stock. And I really believed that today it was going to sell off. And what was cool was Darkside was also playing the stock as well himself. And he was shorting the stock and adding into strength as it was coming down. So it was pretty cool. I played it a couple times. I did get shaken out, I think, once. Possibly 2 times, but then I went in there and I was able to grab a great short of almost, I think it was just under 2 points with decent size. I was so happy. I was excited. You could hear my voice in the chat room, how happy I was. But the main reason why I'm speaking about this is the importance of, again, being in the right environment. I can't stress it enough. I mean, you really need, when you're trading a stock like that, when you have to have some sort of. I'm a professional day trader, and my job is to understand the stock itself, the sentiment of the market. I mean, okay, case in point. Uh, you know, I'm looking at Apple yesterday, right? And Apple yesterday, and I'll show you on my Twitter feed. I see this tweet from something I follow, and so I'm looking at Apple, and I look at a tweet that I got yesterday, and it was regarding right here. I'll show it to you. That they were going to do an event, okay? And it was right here, right? And so for me, I just look at that, and I look at the stock. It was sitting at 177. And I'm like, okay, so I would buy into the event. So I'd be purchasing 185 calls, March 22 calls, and just long the stock. And the stock ran all the way to 182. And it's amazing, just, I mean, how many rooms are making this the biggest trade of all the world? And it's like, dude, this is, I mean, this is 101 trading. You got an event coming up. Apple always goes long into the event. Event comes, you sell the event. I mean, really? I didn't even have to put this as a pick. I just told you what to do yesterday when it's sitting at 177. So again, you're in a room that has the ability to look at this stuff and make these sound decisions and great quality calls. And this is just one trade idea. So with Boeing today, I made it very clear that I wanted the stock to sell off, and I wanted this. And you can look. I'm sorry, I'm trading a stock called Coop right now, and it's almost hitting my target. So for 50 cents. on 200 shares. So you're going to hear me in a few minutes probably sell it. And that's just another $100 I wanted to make in front of everyone because I was kind of bored. I needed a stock to trade. Anyway, so let's go into the 1 day. So here's the gap down on Boeing, and here it is. So today I felt we would probably get a nice sell-off to 375, possibly 370, and if it does, I'd be a buyer on the long side. Just like yesterday. If you draw a line from yesterday's close, you will see how important that 370 area is. You see that? They love to eat this up. So that's the trade. So if you went short around 390, did you capture all of this? Absolutely. And with the guidance of dark side as well. I think I got shaken out about right here. Yeah, it kind of got the best of me because I was trying to short here for more downside pull. And I think it was actually, I think traders, don't you remember? I think it was, yeah, it was here. But then I went short here and I nailed the pull. And I just got it. So I got all my money back and then some. So for me, it's been a really great trader for today. I really enjoyed it. Did it all live, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So this was a really good trade to the downside, and we nailed it perfectly. And I think this is the bottom. I don't think it'll go any lower. I think the funds will go ahead and just eat it up here. So that's what I'm looking for on that one. Okay, so that was Boeing. The next stock that we had was Stamp. Now, Stamp was kind of interesting today because this company lost over 60% of their market cap, and today they come up with this just absolutely, in my opinion, as a trader, pathetic. I mean, just pathetic. They do a buyback they announce, well, we're gonna do a buyback. We're gonna do a buyback today. Really? What's your buyback? We're gonna do a $60 million buyback. You blew what, 20 billion off your market cap, or 10 billion, or whatever it was. You dropped from $210 down to 80, and you're going to only buy back $60 million worth of your stock. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, just pathetic. But it's a trade. Why? Because it's gapping up. You see the gap up this morning? They announced yesterday after hours, and then today it gapped up. You see the gap up right here? And to me, I wanted a sell-off. So I told traders, short the stock, gap fill it back down to this 88 area or under, bottom curl it, and go long. And that's it. It was a really simple trade. You really didn't have to think too much on it because it kind of set itself up. And you had the gap up, pull, and then slam it down. So it was really, really nice trade. And I think in my notes, you can see clearly how I wrote that up this morning in front of everyone on that stock. Stamp, 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 stamp. There it is. Gapping up 2.5. This should push at the open towards 91, 93. If it does, gap fill it back to 88. And bottom curl, go long. Should have a slow all-day move to the upside. See that? Slow all-day move to the upside. My traders love that kind of language because they can just wait for the bomb to come in, kick in, fill the gap, and they can just go back to bed, come back 2 hours later, just sell it. And the stock just hit 90, 50 again. So anyway, that was a really good one. I also did this little pre-market one I'll show you. Arco had some clinical trial presentation coming up. They were gapping up too. I pulled up the chart and I felt very strongly the stock in pre-market, the stock was sitting around $11. And I said, you know what, this is going to hit 15 to 17 before coming all the way back down when it pulls. But the chart itself, it looked like BPPH all over again. And I guess my excitement in pre-market really excited the stock. And because, again, we have about, I believe, 12, 14 chat rooms in here that copy everything we do. Like I said yesterday, if I sneeze, they're holding my Kleenex. And I got another group that will throw it in the trash. So that's kind of who we are. So just by me liking something and putting it on the list, you want to see what happened when I liked it at 11, went long. And even if you do 250 shares, watch what happens in a blink. Ready? So if you were in our chat room and you got in at $11, 12 when it started, and I work from the bottom up. I start giving my list of items, and then I start writing each expert down, like what I see the stock will do. All right. So I started with Stamp, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to short that, so don't long it into open. And then Orco, I like it. And then I immediately went in the room and said, this is going to 15 to 17 at the open, go long. And you want to see the stock? I'll show it to you. Within pre-market only, Orgo slammed. Look, here's our $11 right here. See it? And just, I said 15 to 17. And so what that does is it gives the traders an opportunity to go in there and make money pre-market. If you can trade pre-market and you did 200 shares and you did a limit order, on something like this, you almost have to go 10 cents to 20 cents above what they're asking just to make sure you get filled. You have to be smart unless you're in early down here. You could just pick it up at 12, 12.50, 12.70. Get filled, and within I would say with 3 minutes, you would have made $600 and been done for the day. That's how fast it moved. And if you clearly see, I said between 15 and 17 on the stock. And I was really adamant about those numbers. And actually, B-Trades and a few others were really impressed with the way I called this out in pre-market. Do you know how hard it is as a trader to be able to be that accurate in pre-market? Imagine that for a second. This isn't, the market's not even open. And I'm calling a 6-point trade before the market even opens. I mean, that's what we call disgusting. Yeah, that's disgusting. Okay, so anyway, and the reason why I liked it too was I felt the news was pretty worthy of it. But I want you to look at a 180 chart. Look at this. I mean, I just looked at this and went, is this BPTH all over again? My goodness, this thing has room all the way up to what, $28, $30 a share. So, hey, I went for it. And anyway, it's fading back off, so didn't matter. Really good trade there. The next one that we did was Akaba. Okay, Akaba. One thing you got to know about this stock, it's a sell-off kind of stock. That's all it does. It doesn't matter how many events it has. This thing constantly sells off every time they get an event. Because you know why? They have a reputation of getting into the stock. All right. And can you excuse me a second? Because I need to go make some money. Excuse me. Just excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just got filled at $92.79. I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to make 60 cents in front of you on 200 shares. My bad. Anyway, give me something that's really hard. Remember I told you Coop when I started that I wanted to make 50 cents? You see Coop? And I got in at 92.21. You see that? And I said I wanted to make 50 cents. See it there? 93.08. You see how simple that was? If you didn't even trade all day, you just took that with 200 shares, you made over $100 something. You see? And for these chat rooms that go, I don't give alert services. I'm not going to alert you when to buy the stock. What the fuck are you opening a chat room then for? What are you there for? I'm an educational room. Okay, listen, idiot. I'm paying you to be in your room to make money. So if you see a trade setup, can you fucking tell me? And if you're going to buy the damn thing, can you tell me? Instead of charting it out and trying to give me channels and sell me a DVD on how to look at it? What the fuck? I'm not an alert service. What do you eat? Are you an eating service? You just order food? I mean, what's your service then? What's the purpose? My service is to sell DVDs. Okay. Okay. At least we got that fair. Anyway, so you go to ACPA. And so today I looked at the news and actually it was actually pretty damn good. But the problem was that the stock was going to sell off. So what I told traders to do is ACPA has a tendency to sell off. So any pop at the open, scale in, and I would be shorting around the 9 area when I started to look at it, right around here, 930, 920. And any pop at the open, I would add to it. Just give it room in case it did hit that 11 again, but it should sell off to $8 and under. And it was very thick this morning. So it made me be aware that, hey, it could hit 11 again. So just be aware, just scale in. in the 9, 9:30, and then let it pop and then scale in more and then just take it down to 8. And if you want to look at my notes, I was pretty clear on the 8 on ACBA. Was our number, I believe our number 3 pick, ACBA. I would scale in short. If a buyer comes in and pushes it to 10, 50, 11, add into it and look for topping and fade it back to $8. You see how accurate the call was? And they had 2 top line phase 2 studies. So I thought that was a very, very good call for my short sellers in the room. Do you also want to see Boeing right now? As I'm talking to you during this webinar, you see how Boeing really holds that 370 area? Look at it now, 380. So if you would have followed our instructions, even buying at 375, you're still up 5 points. Boeing will not fall below this 370. I'm sorry, 370, 375, and you need to know that, you know. So, I mean, there it is at 380, and they're just eating it up. This is like yesterday now. I wouldn't be surprised, correct me if I'm wrong, we hit this here, right here at 383, and then we hit up here back to 390. I would not be surprised if it does that, okay? Because this is when the funds, and look at the blocks. These are funds loading up again. See them? Look at the blocks. Look at the blocks. 100,000, 200,000, 125. That's what? 350, 400,000 shares in just these 3 blocks at 376. What is that? $120 million worth of stock or something like that? Are you kidding me? Some fund just loaded up. So, all right, let's go into another one. BPTH. I haven't traded this the last couple of days because I've been waiting for the offering to come. And I knew it was coming, and I wanted traders to stay away from it until that offering was coming. And it really was. I saw the gap up, but it didn't really hit my list this morning until I saw this massive pull, and I saw it, and I knew right there at the offering. But when it stopped, I had a sense that it was going to be a small offering. I could tell because when they pull like that and then pop, and then they kind of grind out and don't go below where they initially pulled, I knew the offering wasn't going to be big. I just felt it. And this stock had done over, almost 200 million shares in a 3 or 4 day period. So I knew something was up on that. So I felt that this was a buying opportunity today to get into the stock from a day trader standpoint, not a swing trader, but from a day trader. And so I went after the stock today. But first, I believe it was Darkside or B Trades in the room notified the room that BBTH had an 18.5 million share offering at $25.95. So this pulled to 26, 27. You had to buy the stock. It's just like a $5 stock. Okay, let me put it this way in perspective. Let's say you have a $5 stock that ran to 11. And in that 11, it did, let's say, 100 million shares, and they're going in for 5 million shares on the 100 million at $7. You buy the stock when it pulls to 7 or 750 or 8 because the stock will bounce up because it will have no effect whatsoever on the stock. You follow what I'm saying? It will have no effect on the stock. So to me, 18.5 has no effect. You need to buy the stock. So I told everyone, buy the weakness at 27. And if it goes under, don't worry. The stock will push. It's a great play today. All right. This is nothing compared to the volume. I gave you every reason to buy the stock long. And you want to see the end result? And B Trade's trade is perfect in the room. I believe he went long twice. A couple traders went long, but they were buying off the 35. They saw this grind right here, and they were eating it up here, here and here. And they started loading at 35, and they walked it up almost to 40. So I thought that was pretty cool right there. Okay. So, all right. So that was good. That was very, very, very good. All right. So that was a good one. So BPTH. And then, so if you had bought long at 27.28, the stock ran all the way up to almost to 40. So even if you caught 5 points, even on this one right here, from 31 to 37, the stock was going to have a nice play in it. Okay. The next one that we did was Stitch, SFIX. Now, SFIX really surprised investors yesterday, especially the short sellers, and had really decent earnings. And so the stock had really ran yesterday. And we had talked about this before the close, and it was too close to call as far as earnings were concerned. I didn't want the traders to ruin a good day, and I felt we could play it better the next day off the initial pop because we'd probably get a short squeeze at the open. So in pre-market, I told traders in the room, go ahead and go long. The stock will squeeze at the open, and then we can short the stock. It was a very good call, and some traders were literally done in literally a blink. If you open, ding, 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 just the opening bell had went up 1.5 points. Within another minute, you had already gone up another point. I mean, you literally got 2.5 to 3 points right at the open. And then if you waited 5 minutes, you got a full 3.5 at the open. I mean, it was just, you have to understand how these stocks work. And a lot of people will stay away from stuff like this. Why? You know why? Because they don't know how to trade these kind of stocks. They don't want to play that 1 minute, that opening bell, because they don't understand it. Well, what if you're in a room that totally gets it, that 100% understands it and says, oh, this is going to pop right at the open? No doubt. Boom. Have a nice day. Why, AJ? Because there's short sellers stacked in there. They beat on earnings. They beat on guidance. They raise the guidance. Everybody's going to try to get out of the stock. So I want you to pop at the open, scale in short, and then boom, sell it off. Okay, so here's the play. And I'll give it to you in writing, right? I did on Stitch. Right here. Gapping up. I would like to see a push at the open at 36 or more and then pull it back to 30. I mean, that's kind of really what I wanted. I didn't think it would gap fill, as you could see, because the earnings were so good. But I really wanted a good short on it. So I felt if I can get 36 or more, look for toppy and then fade it. And boy, this stock paid dividends today. I mean, look at it. It just within the first 7 minutes of the opening bell, boom, you went from $34 to 37, and then it sold off. Now, yes, did I want $30 on it right here? Yeah, I did, but it ended up paying us only right here around 33 bucks. So we still got 4 to the downside. So I did alert the room. I would cover here and stops at 34, and they did. HH was trading this live. My friend Solo Christian was trading it. A lot of traders from Ripster was on it. Webster were both trading it. So I just kind of told them, hey, cover at 34 and let it run again, and we'll revisit it. And just so you can see my coop, why I sold it. You see it? Now it's right back down. See coop? And I sold it up here. Yeah. And I'm going to go over coop right now for you so you can kind of get a feel for the stock. Coop is a really good trade we did today. What I wanted to do on coop was I really wanted, I've got a couple upgrades this morning towards 100. So I felt the stock would probably gap up and push around 97, 98, and then sell off and then come all the way back down. I wanted to gap fill it. I believe I was suggesting 92 or 91, somewhere around there, and it actually pulled even more within. I mean, it was a great short if you look at it. Just an absolutely stunning paycheck. So let's see how I wrote it up on coop. Okay, pop at the open. Yes, be aware it could go to 98 at the open and gap fill back to 94 and under. And the stock just more it pops, better the fade. Let it top off, then look for fade to stock. I was really eyeballing just a gap fill on coop. All right, so but this stock ended up paying us more. So even if you took the $97 in pre-market, which I suggested to do with room to add to 98 or 99, you would have had a wonderful average. And within probably, I would say 2 minutes of the opening bell, you would have scored, I think it was 6 points. So if you had 200 shares, 100 shares short, you had $600, 200 shares short, $1,200, 300 shares short, $1,800. I mean, it was damn good setup. And it was mostly for the downside. So I thought that was a really good stock. The other one I did also was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll show you one more, Momo. Momo was also a good stock today. Didn't come down as much as I wanted it to, but it was a decent trade this morning initially. I wanted to pop at the open towards 37 and scale in short and then take it right back down. So it was just a quick one there. And I'll show you how I wrote this one up on Momo. Momo. Right here. I want to pop it open to 36.50 to 38 and then take it down to 33.50. That's really what I wanted to do. But it ended up going to about 37.50, just under 38, which was good, but it stopped around 35, I believe. So, and I thought this was a pretty decent trade here. And there it goes. There's the pop, and then it even hit more. Once it pulled, it curled, gave you plenty of time to get out because it was pretty thick. Then it ran back up to that 38 level I was talking about, and then it sold off again. But it never hit the 33.50 I was looking for. But overall, it was a pretty damn good trade. So those are the 7 I want to do today: Stamp, Boeing, ACPA, BPTH, SFIX, Coop, and Orco. And I liked Orco a lot too because it was pre-market. And you know, if you're not in our room and you don't know what we're doing or how we're trading, it's kind of difficult. But I did indicate that it had potential to run today because I was looking at the 15 to 17 level in pre-market. So, and the stock hit 17. I mean, $16.50. That was a hell of a good trade pre-market. So, other than that, currently right now, Boeing is heading upwards. I don't think it'll come down anymore. And it's been a really good ticker the last couple days, along with Apple. And the video was a nice monster today again. I spoke about this yesterday, how it was just a great thing that they did, buying MLNX, enhancing their company. So really, really, really impressed with that trade a lot. So other than that, traders, that was today's webinar. I just want to also thank a lot of new members to the room. I think 3 or 4 signed up last night and joined us today. It's a lot to take in. Every day we do a pre-market game plan. We write down 12 items minimum for you to trade. We range the stocks anywhere from $8, $10, $5, $6, $8, $10, $30, $40, $60. We also have an amazing a Discord chat room for free that you can join if you're a member to our room and outside. We currently have 907 members in there. We're on our way to 1,000 traders in the room. And it's a really good environment to be able to talk to traders that are trading in here, traders that are struggling, just traders that want to help you become better as a trader, and tell their journey. And it's really nice. So you can click on it anytime you want. And it's run by the Great Dark Side. And we're almost out there. We're already at it, I think, 310, 320 people. And we're looking to probably get to 1,000 by the end of the month. So that would be kind of fun. And then also, you know, I do a lot of free content as far as these video recaps. And every day after close, you can listen to them. Last night's webinar, day before March 8th, was 120 views. Last night was 83 views so far. And people still listening to it. This is really important. You can listen to them. They're live. You can, or not live, but you can hear me just kind of go over each trade, how I find it. It's really important that I really not just entertain you, but just kind of just go over each setup, what I looked for, the language I read, how I read through it, what I was looking for, to capture that moment so you can make that money as quickly as possible. So you don't sit in the room all day. You know what I mean? So, and it's on YouTube. It's called Awesomecalls Trading. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank you for joining us today. If you want to join us tomorrow, just click up the corner or any of our links. Join us for a day is $25. Join us for a week is $100. And if you want to join us for a month, it's $6.75 a day or $197 a month. And I'm pretty sure that you'll probably make your money in the first few days, or not the first day you're in the room. All right, we don't do a lot of cross-selling. We don't sit there and try to sell you and push DVDs on you. We're here to educate you every process of the way, how we found the setup, why we were looking for it. I answer questions throughout the trading. I never shut you up. There's no stupid questions in day trading. You can ask anything you want, anytime you want, and I'm always here. It's all about education. The more you know, the more you grow. Okay? So, all right. I should put that on a T-shirt. Keep that slogan. You know how people, the more you know, the more you grow. Anyway, so you can also follow me on AJ Trader, Real AJ Trader 7, and that's it. So thank you very, very much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care.